All right, everybody, welcome to this masterclass. This one is called Magnetic Messaging. This is part two of a series, but it's also a standalone masterclass. So if you are here, you're probably here because you want to learn how to talk about what you do a little bit better in a way that gets people's attention, in a way that gets people reaching out to you, in a way where you don't feel awkward and weird and you don't feel like you're over explaining. And you also don't want to feel salesy. Like the biggest thing I help clients with is feel calm and confident and connected without feeling salesy, but we obviously want to be making sales. So how do we do it without feeling salesy? It starts with our messaging. So if you're here and you're in the beginning of your business, I can help you with your messaging. And if you're here and you've had your business for a few years, I can still help you with your messaging because we're always refining it. So what I'm going to do is today I'll make sure that I coach anybody who's here live on this call. And I'll even spend some time after this call for anybody who hops on and wants some more coaching at the end. So that will be included. But what I want to start with is start thinking about why you started your business. And I want you to start feeling that feeling of purpose and connection and love for the work that you do. Because all of the clients I work with, they have this deep-seated like purpose and love and intention. And typically they have a servant's heart. They really want to help people and they have a skill in order to help people. But the tricky part that they have is they also want to make money and they get kind of caught up in wanting to make money and wanting to help people and not overgiving, right? Because if we overgive all of our time and energy, then we actually cannot have a sustainable business. And if we can't have a sustainable business, then we actually can't serve people. So I want you to connect to your why. But then I want you to connect with why you want to make money. Because this is the tricky part. A lot of clients will come to me and say, well, it's not about the money, it's about the people. And I'm like, yes, obviously, absolutely. And money is just a measurement of how many people you've been able to help. I'll say it again. Money is a measurement of how many people you've been able to help. If you just wanted to help people for free, you can just go volunteer. But there's a reason that you have a business, and the business is to make money, because if it's not making money, then it's a nonprofit, right? And you can just change your entire business model and open up a nonprofit. But the foundation of a business is that it's profitable, which means that we're making money. So I want you to take your why of why I started my business. Here's how I want to help people. And then I want you to think about, why would I want to make money? And remember that it's always a correlation for all the people that you've helped. And what I've seen is people value things that they pay for. People are more likely to show up and value something that they pay for because we know something for free or something at the Dollar Tree is different than something at Neiman Marcus or something at Nordstrom. Right? We know that we're going to pay for the quality that we get. And I want you to think about people believing that people want to pay you and believing that you're not asking them for money, but you're providing a service that they want and desire. So from this place, we now know, okay, I'm connected to my why and I'm connected to why I want to make money, right? And that's connected to how many people you're helping. But there also can be a personal connection to why I want to make that money. Is it to buy my grandparents a home or pay off their house? Is it to take a trip with my kids? Is it because I just want a new car? Like, there's no wrong answer. But I think the first foundation, especially for women in business, is allowing themselves to want money, right? And we know, because a lot of times we've been taught in our religions, like the love of money is the root of all evil. But remembering that good people, when they have money, can do good things. So one of my missions is to create a bunch of good people making good money so that we can give back to worthy causes, because money does change things. Putting your money towards economies and causes and local nonprofits is a way that you can change the world. Helping your family, giving back to the people who raised you is also a way you can change the community. So we have to always start with the foundation of, it's okay for me to make money. It's okay for me to sell my services because I'm helping people and I'm helping myself. I'm helping my family. I'm helping leave a legacy, whatever that is for you. So the reason we start our messaging call here is because without that, It will feel really hard to talk about what you want to do. It will cause you to shrink back. It will cause you to feel like you're asking people for money. And that never feels good. So we don't want to do it. When you're connected to purpose and you know the way you talk about what you do is connected to purpose, then you will feel more drawn to talk about it. So let's start with the three things. Actually, it's like 3/4 things. So in order to create messaging that's magnetic, right, that gets people reaching out to you, we want to have 4 things. Number one, we want to have clarity. So we want the message to be clear. Typically, number 2, a clear message is also concise, right? So the shorter it is, the less words we use, the easier it is for the human brain to understand exactly what it is. Then the third thing is we need to be connected to the person. Either we're standing in front of them and we're connected to them, or we're connected to the person and we're thinking about their problem as we're sharing on social media. So when we try to share things without connection, that's when it falls flat. And this is when I start to talk about using ChatGPT too much to where we lose the heart and soul, to where we lose the connection. And we're trying to seek perfection in the words that we use instead of connection. What I always love to say is you can't say the wrong thing to the right person. And I've seen this time and time again in my life where I stand up, I say what I do, and I'll be like, I'm Cami. I'm a life coach for high achievers. I help them get over perfectionism and start taking action. And sometimes I feel like I stumble over my words. I don't even say it the right way. But because of the connection and the energy, people come up to me. Instead of what I see so many people do, they're going to ChatGPT. They're trying to get it perfect. They're trying to remember their perfect pitch. And what they're losing is the number 4 thing. The number 4 thing that you need is certainty. And what I would call it is calm certainty. Not, because I've seen this happen before too, where we're in a networking event, somebody stands up, and I've seen this with like fellow coaches where they start to get really frustrated that people don't know what coaching is. And they start to get like, why don't you see what I have to offer? And I can feel their energy where they're like, y'all, I can help you. My goal is to sign 10 clients this month. And they're like saying this, and they're coming from this place of like frustration because people aren't understanding what they do and how they can help them. And so we need a level of calm certainty, not that pushy certainty where it's like, well, everybody needs this, but they don't really want it. So we've said this before. Anytime I teach a training, all selling is a transfer of emotion. So if we're transferring frustration about our clients not understanding what we do, then it's going to push clients away. And our responsibility is to do these 4 things. Become clear, concise, from a place of connection, and calm certainty. Now, as you think about your specific message, I want you to think about these 3 things. The first thing is, what is the problem that your client has? What is the problem that your client has? And you might have a list of 10 problems that you solve for them. But anytime you're saying something either out loud to a group, in a networking group, or you are putting content out there, you want the client, the potential client, to see themselves in the problem in a way that they would say it. Specifically how they would say it, without using your industry jargon. And in life coaching, this happens a lot where I see life coaches do this, or other coaches see, I'm women's empowerment. I'm going to empower women to feel from the deepest parts of their soul that they are living the life of empowerment. And everyone's like, okay, that sounds really fluffy. That doesn't sound very clear. The clearer way to say it is, so you're a perfectionist, you get stuck in overthinking, analysis paralysis, and you do not take action. Then you beat yourself up, and you're mad at yourself for not doing the thing that you know how to do. What coaching does is it gets you to take action and stop beating yourself up. So you get more things done in less time. That's what a coach does for you. So it's learning how to say that in a very clear way. And the only way we can learn how to say it is by making ourselves say it 1,000 different ways, 1,000 different times, without it trying to be perfect. So first thing, think of your client's problems. What are their main problems? And Michelle, I'll use you as an example in a minute as you start thinking of this. The second thing is think of the process that you take them through. Because a lot of times what'll happen is our human brains, we're wired to stay the same. We're wired to just keep doing the same thing, to stay in our same lane. And we're typically wired to say no. We're like, no, that's different. I don't want to do it. Or like, no, that feels too hard. I don't want to do that. And I think of this like, I'll give a good example from a local service-based provider. There's a local oil change place. It's called like 5-minute oil change or something. And it works so well, right? Because I stay in my car and they tell me it's 5 minutes. It's technically 30 minutes, but their psychology is I don't have to sit at the freaking greasy, oily place and drop my car off for 8 hours to get an oil change. So their marketing overcame my objections of like, it's too hard. I can't do it. It's going to take too long. I don't have time. They told me it's simple. So when you think of your process, you want the process to be simple, like 3 to 5 steps. Now we know you're an expert. It's probably not actually 3 to 5 steps, but you want to think of broadening it. And I'll give you an example. When I tell people about consultations with me, I say we're going to do 3 things on a consult. Number 1, we're going to assess where you're at. Number 2, I'm going to give you my solution, how I would help you, what are the steps so that you feel clear on how to move forward. And then number 3, we will make a decision on whether or not we're going to move forward together coaching or not. And it's no pressure. I'm just here to give you value over an hour. That helps them understand, okay, when I come to this consult, I'm not just going to be sold to the entire time. She's not just going to say, here's why you should buy coaching. It's really a valuable experience for them, but I need to tell them the process of the consult. And then once we're on the consult, I tell them the process of the coaching. Here's what coaching looks like. Here's how it's going to solve your problem. Here's the results you're going to get in the first month, the second month, the third month. And I let them know you can do this and we're going to work step by step. I believe in you, right? Now, if you have another service, I'll give it a silly example, but it's one of my examples. When I was first going to get my eyelashes put on, I never had eyelashes before. And I have this weird claustrophobia thing where like, I feel like I can't sit still and I don't want to have to sit still. So the thought of me closing my eyes and like having to stay still for an hour gave me anxiety. And it took me like maybe 3 or 4 months of like talking to all my friends who have had eyelashes done. Like, am I going to be okay? Can I do it? Can I really do it? Which is, it's silly, right? But your clients have the same thing. Like, what is the lash experience going to be like? What is the home buying experience going to be like? What is, I had a client that was a personal organizer. People don't want you to come in their home and judge their home. But you're like, it's going to be okay. Don't worry. I've seen a lot and I never judge. We're going to take it step by step. I'll haul away all your junk. And at the end of the day, you're going to feel so much better that you did this, right? Like, and you're just telling them the process. You're helping them to feel safe. And then the third thing is you're giving them a clear result. So by the end of our session, by the end of our facial, by the end of the thing that we book, you're going to have XYZ result. You're going to feel better. You're going to look better. Your skin's going to be better. But we get specific, right? Because I do believe people will pay to feel and look better. That's what lashes are, right? But there's also something about like, if we're using lashes as an example, it's very quick. You just get them filled every 2 weeks. It's about 30 minutes. It's not that big of a deal. You put your headphones in, and then the result is you have beautiful lashes. You wake up every morning feeling great. You go to the gym and you don't look like a dead rat. You woke up like this. You feel confident as you're aging. Like those are the things that you do, right? Michelle's laughing because we know that's what somebody would really feel like, right? It's like I look like a naked mole rat and I don't want to. So that's like an example of using specific language. So the problem, the process, the result, and then the fourth thing is just your simple solution, right? Your simple solution, you're just reminding people you get a facial every month. You're reminding people, if I'm a home organizer, you come in, we clean it out, it takes 6 hours, and then you check in with me every 3 months if I need to reset anything. So you tell them what the upkeep is. You give them the explanation of like, this is how it works. For me, my simple solution is my simple offer, which is 6 months of coaching. The reason it takes 6 months is because clients I work with, they're in their 30s, 40s, 50s, So you've been the same person with the same brain for at least 30 years. And for us to undo the thinking that creates your results, it's going to take us at least 6 months. That would be the same thing if you were like a personal trainer. It's going to take this amount of time of consistency to get you the result. But after your first workout, you're going to be proud of yourself. After your second workout, you're going to feel like you're showing up and you're going to feel more flexible, right? Like, can you start walking them along the process? So, Michelle, I'm going to pull you up here and I want you to start just talking to me out loud about what you do, and then I'll give you feedback on your messaging so we can make it clearer. So you can go ahead and
Okay.
unmute yourself. And let's just start with the problem that you solve for your clients.
I help my clients with their skin problems,
Mm-hmm.
their skin concerns,
Yep.
whether it be acne, it's oily, it's dry, they have spots on there
Mm-hmm.
that they can't get rid of, they
Mm-hmm.
have sagging skin, they have dark circles, wrinkles,
Yep.
uh, uneven texture, tone, all of that. So I
Mm-hmm.
help them with that.
Okay. Let me know, how do people feel? What's the emotional state? Like if you can think of either a specific client or in general clients when they come to you, let's say they're really suffering with their skin. Tell me what their feeling is.
Their self-esteem is down a little bit
Yep.
because they don't feel like they are pretty
Yeah.
or look good. They're stressed out because they probably don't understand what is going on with their skin,
Mm-hmm.
i.e., it could be, we know that stress causes all different types of things to the skin,
Mm-hmm.
to include our nervous system and our gut,
Yeah.
right? So we'll have, just like we talked about ChatGPT. Some people
Yes.
actually go in there and ask, right, have turned some form of a therapy session,
Mm,
right? And then two, they don't know if whatever is going on with their face, if they're going to be able to correct it themselves or going to have to go to somebody else.
yes.
And it's how long? How long am I going to look like this, like a piece of
Yes.
face?
Yes. Okay.
And why?
Yes. Okay. So we have two things here, and this is for everybody thinking about their offer. We have the specific problem that's like, this is the diagnosis, this is the treatment. Then we have the emotional side effect that the problem causes for them, right? And so in this case for Michelle, she's solving skin problems and she's got a long list of those problems. So she could do posts on each one of those problems, right? I think every woman understands what it feels like to get older. So like solving age problems. And then we have the separate one, which is like probably acne, which can happen at any age. But I would consider not feeling pretty as the problem. That's the main problem.
Yeah.
I don't feel pretty. I want to feel pretty. My skin is a problem.
Mm-hmm.
And your process, let's go into that. Tell me
So,
three to 5 step process. Try to keep it concise,
yeah,
clear, because
yeah,
I've been through your process. I know it's it's
yeah.
many steps, but let's see if we can keep it clear and concise.
Analyze, educate, analyze,
Hmm.
treatment,
Yep. Okay.
and then put it in execution.
Okay. Now, what I think is interesting, I love what you did here because you got concise, but we're missing the main piece that I think you offer, which is the emotional support, the spiritual support. I think that's the foundation of all of this. So if you were going to open up with the emotional and spiritual support as step one, what do you
Mm-hmm.
think? What do you think that would say? Like, what would that sound like?
It's going to be okay.
Yeah.
That how we mitigate what's going on is with education, and
Yeah.
then with ensuring that we know from on a cellular level what's going on and how it
Mhm.
affects you, and that it's okay, and you're not the only one,
Yes.
and this is treatable. It might
Yes.
take some time, but it's treatable. But we have to
Yes.
be consistent.
Yes. Okay. And what do you usually say to your clients, either in person or on Messenger or when they're calling you, however they reach out to you? What do you usually say to them that you feel makes them feel safe?
Besides, hey girl, how you doing? Hey
Mm-hmm.
sir, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to me about how do you live your life on a
Mm-hmm.
daily basis?
Yep.
That's the first question I ask.
Yep. Okay.
And then I ask, what is the things that bother you with
Mm-hmm.
yourself? So we talk about skin, what's going on with your skin. I also ask them though, what are if they will decide to disclose, are you thinking, are you worrying about some things in your
Yeah.
mind? Because mind chatter will
Yes.
also show up in our skin and our
Yes.
face as well.
Yep.
And then two, let them know that that's okay. We can talk about that too, part of your treatment plan,
Mm-hmm.
um, about ways to mitigate that. And then, of course, your diet.
Yes.
What are you eating? What are you ingesting? And how that all comes together in an end state of, if we don't take care of those concerns, we really can't fully treat the main concern that you came here today.
Yes. Yes. And the underlying tone of all of this is non-judgment. You're okay.
Yes.
It's okay. This is holistic. We understand you're human and you have a lot of
Mm-hmm.
things going on in life. It's safe for us to talk about this together. So,
Mm-hmm.
what I'm looking for, and maybe we can continue to work on this after if you need to hop off, but something that says like we pray, we assess the problem, like pray, problem, like we use a bunch of P's. I really think that knowing I'm going to walk in there, it's going to be a safe place. Michelle's going to pray over me, ask me about my
Mm-hmm.
life, how that's affecting my skin. This is different because you gave me these tips, educate, analyze, treatment. I think that's not actually your brand. I think that's too clinical for what you have to offer because yours is a holistic experience. So I'd want to
Mm-hmm.
hear something like, we pray.
Grounded.
Yes. Like, I really think if you're comfortable with leading
Yeah.
with that, I think that
Oh
speaks to
no,
your,
no. I love
yes.
that. I
And
love
I think
that.
that gives people the understanding of what's going to happen there. And there's a
Yeah.
pamper too. So it's like pray, pamper. Um, we got to come up with
Protect or
something.
provide.
Yeah.
Protect, provide, something to that effect.
Yes. Um,
I love that.
yes.
Tammy,
So
I
it's
love
like,
that.
yes. So it's like we pray. Um, we need something that says like assess the problem. We pamper, and then like we provide a protocol. Like
Yeah.
that's kind of where we're at, I think, with your process. And we can continue
Okay.
working on that too. And
Yes.
I say
Yes.
run with it. And this is the
Yes.
thing where like just run with it because what happens is the more you say it, the more you're gonna find more clarity, right?
Yes.
And then you can keep refining it. And then when we think about the results, you've already got some people giving reviews on Facebook. Like you've already got a great blog out there. So can you pull a sentence or five that's like, when people walk out of my room, they feel this, they look
Yes.
like this. These are
Yes.
the specific results.
Mhm.
And as you're thinking about it, what do you think those results are physically, tangibly? And then what do you think those results are emotionally?
Mhm. Um, Emotionally, they're gonna feel like they're safe.
Yes.
They're gonna feel safe. They're gonna feel relaxed,
Yep.
refreshed,
Yep.
refreshed,
Yes.
rejuvenated. And then I think what they're thinking, I would hope, well, no, I know that their mind is they've been actually able to be in the present moment
Yes.
and not have cognitive distance,
Yes. Yes.
letting the other things that we think about every 20 minutes, 30 of the day, to
Yes.
just block that time. That there's so much things going on in the moment to have them feel that they're in a state of serenity and grounding, that the mind takes over from the body, that it just shuts it all out.
Yes.
If that makes sense.
Yes, this is perfect. So I'm going to give you some feedback too, and this is for anybody. This is how I coach people. I could see like on Instagram or even on Facebook a carousel slide that says, "Getting a facial with me is more than just your skin,"
Mm-hmm.
and then it says it's about being in the present moment. It's about being prayed over. It's about being pampered,
Mhm.
right? It's about feeling pretty.
Mhm.
And you let them know this is what we're doing. And to me, the result is you feel pampered,
Yeah.
you feel pretty, and you got prayed over. That's all we need. Now you can go out and do
Mhm.
your day.
Absolutely. Be the
So,
best
like,
version of yourself.
yes. So, like, just reminding them, a lot of people think things like facials or even things like coaching or personal training
Yeah.
or interior decorating, right? Like, we have a tendency to think these are extras or they're luxuries. And of course, they
Yeah.
are luxuries. And it is a crucial part, the way that you're describing it, of nervous system regulation. This is the only
Yeah.
hour of your month or of your week where you're going to fully be present.
Yeah.
And we're going to take care of the inside and the outside. And you
Mhm.
know, when you come here, you're safe. You can get away from all the noise. You can be here with me. So it's
Mhm.
more than just a facial. And I think for you, using that tagline more than just a facial, and then
Yeah.
talk about the whole entire experience.
Mhm.
I
I love
think
that.
that, I think we've got something good to start with.
I think so
How does that
too.
feel?
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. And then that's a way of you talking about like being holistic in a way that doesn't use
Yeah.
too many words.
Yeah.
Because sometimes we try to over explain something. We're like, well, don't you understand? We want to get it concise, clear. So I think starting with those things that we started with, I think will help you a lot. And then final thing is the offer part. So the messaging part magnetizes them. And then the
Right.
last thing we think about is making the offer clear and easy. So it's
Mhm.
like DM me to book, call me to book, click here to book, whatever the
Yeah.
easiest thing is for them. And then making sure we have a
Right.
link or whatever the next steps are. And
Mhm.
sometimes what I'll say is with somebody who has multiple services. So if we go to your booking link and there's 50 services,
Yeah.
sometimes that can feel overwhelming.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if it does, you might just say, listen, first step, send me a message.
Yeah.
I will advise you on which appointment to choose
Mhm.
and we'll
Mhm.
get you booked in. So they don't have to feel overwhelmed on which one to pick.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah.
I love that. I
Okay.
love that.
Beautiful.
I
Thanks
love
for
that.
volunteering. All
I'll
right.
see you. Bye
Okay.
bye.
Bye. All right. All right. So let's move on. So I just used Michelle as an example. We talked about being clear, concise, connected, and certain. And we remember that certainty doesn't come from ChatGPT. And the reason I know this is because anybody that I've talked to who's used ChatGPT, they've used it as like a great way to brainstorm and think about. But when I go to talk to them about their offer, they're like looking for their notes. And I'm like, hold on a second. It's your offer. You're the one that offers it. Like it's not ChatGPT's offer. So we want to practice saying it in our own words, even if we feel a little bit wobbly on it. Because as we started this call, we started it with keeping your heart open, thinking about how and why you want to help people. And then we moved into, and why I want to make money is because it's a measurement of how many people I've helped. And because every person that I tell about my offer, that's an opportunity to help them with something that either they don't have access to the skill or they don't know how to do the service, right? Or even like the oil change example. Could I change my own oil? Did my family teach me how to change it? Yes. Do I want to? Absolutely not. I want to pay somebody to do that. I'm happy to pay somebody to do that. So, as we think about clear, concise, connected, and certain, this only comes from repetition. It only comes from the mindset of thinking, okay, this is good enough. I'm going to post it today. This is good enough. I'm going to go to this networking event and I'm going to practice saying it like the way I'm saying it. And the more I say it, when I say it 1,000 times, the better I'm going to get at saying it. So part of creating certainty is practice. It's just like anything. And I want you to think of this example because I feel like this is really useful. For those of you who have kids, do you remember teaching them to ride a bike? And you can type in the chat and follow along if you want to tell me like what it was like when you were teaching them how to ride a bike. But I kind of remember learning how to ride a bike. I must have been like fourth grade, fifth grade, something around there. You start with, I just remember like falling over in the grass. And then I remember like falling over in a bush. But think about the process of riding a bike. You start with training wheels, right? And then you like kind of make the training wheels a little more wobbly. So you have to balance it. And then at some point, you take the training wheels off. And the only way to learn how to ride a bike is to wobble and fall down. That is the actual process of riding a bike. And I want you to imagine, as you're learning how to talk about what you do, most of the perfectionist clients I work with beat themselves up and are like, you're so dumb. Why are you doing it this way? You don't even know what you're saying. You're not saying it right. You need to figure out a better way to say it. I don't know how to say it. And they have like all this mind chatter as they're beating themselves up as they're learning how to talk about what they do. But I want you to imagine this would be the same thing as if you were yelling at your kid, calling them an idiot because they didn't know how to ride a bike yet. They don't know how to ride a bike yet. The only way to learn how to ride it is to practice it, is to keep doing it, is to learn how to gain your balance. So instead of spending hours and hours trying to perfect your pitch or spending hours and hours in ChatGPT trying to figure out the right thing, the better way to do it that's going to lead to certainty and confidence and clients and cash is to go out there and talk about what you do online, in person, 1,000 different ways, 1,000 different times. Then you'll actually start to learn, oh, this is the messaging that works. And then here's the amazing thing. The next class I'm going to be teaching is called Connected Consult. So it talks about like, what do you do after the messaging works, right? The people start coming to you. Then you learn how to talk to them in the DMs. Then you learn how to set up a consult call and run a consult call that feels connected, but you're also still having a sales conversation at the end, right? One of the problems I see here is the messaging, you're trying to create the messaging from not having clients. And where the messaging actually comes from is when you're having conversations with people. So I'll give you an example. I did this recently where I was talking to someone, she had expressed interest in coaching. And then she kind of used a couple of objections. She just said them out loud. She was like, well, I can't afford it. And like, I'm too much of a mess. And like, you'll judge me. Like, I basically don't want you to see me like this. Like, I'm just so much of a mess. I'm just going through so much. So she gave me 3 objections that I can use in my message. And one of them I used to make a reel. And the reel title was like, I'm a life coach for perfectionists. And I forget exactly what it says, but I'm a life coach for perfectionists and watching all these clients trying to be perfect when they come on the consult call. And I just like was shaking my head. And that person who I was thinking about ended up commenting and messaging directly to me because of the messaging I used, right? It was a gentle way of calling forward the exact thing I could help them with. So it's like a lot of times those objections will come up, which is part of your messaging, right? Like objections is just thoughts in our brain that get in the way of us doing what we want to do, right? If somebody's like trying to hire a personal trainer, they're going to come up with a lot of thoughts on like why they can't do it. And I don't want people to judge me. And a good personal trainer would have messaging that says, hey, let's just get you in here for an assessment. That's the first step. If you have a knee problem, don't worry, I'll help you with it. Same thing with coaching. What I'm doing all the time is thinking about what is in the way of somebody reaching out to me today. And I know, working with perfectionists, they do not like to feel judged. They do not like the feeling of feeling vulnerable because usually perfectionists, high achievers, they want to always look like they have it all together and they're usually taking care of everybody else until they can't. And then they've got to learn how to be taken care of. They've got to learn how to come into a relationship, like a life coaching relationship, where somebody sees them, holds them without judgment, and says, it's okay for you to fall apart here. So my messaging is related to what their problem is as they tell it to me. The reason why you want to get out there and talk to people is because this is where you can refine your messaging. Once you hear why people say it. Okay. And then I will open up to Amanda, I see you're on here. If you want to come up and get coaching, just let me know. If you don't, you don't have to. But if you want to be used as an example and you want to practice talking about what you do, we can use it for the recording and it will help everybody else too. If not, that's okay too. I just wanted to make that offer. If you're able to come on camera, you can. Okay. So let's review this. Your messaging always comes from your mindset. And a lot of you, if you're in the beginning of business, Your argument is, well, I'm not confident in my offer, so therefore I can't talk about it. Or nobody has bought my offer yet, or I'm having a hard time charging for my offer. So therefore, like, how am I going to talk about what I do? Your job every day, like, remember what entrepreneurship is. Like, I really want you to realize what it is. Entrepreneurship is creating something from nothing. Okay. It's literally having a thought, an idea, an image in your brain, creating a service to solve a problem, and then going out there and making money from thin air, like literally making something from nothing. So if you want to build your business up to 2K months, 5K months, 8K months, so you have a 6-figure business, your job every day is number one, your mindset. Because whatever you think is going to direct how you feel. Whatever you feel is going to direct your actions. And then those actions are going to get your results, right? The number of clients you sign, the amount of money that you make. So if you think about it this way, your brain is going to tell you every day, I don't know. And that leads to a feeling of uncertainty, insecurity, self-doubt, whatever the feeling is for you, imposter syndrome. Then the action usually is, let me go to ChatGPT and try to figure it out, but not talk to a real person. Let me go work on my website. Let me perfect my website. Let me go work on Canva so that I can like make my social media look perfect. Let me go make a PDF download. That'll help people. But all of these things are behind the scenes action that does not have you interacting with a human being. So if you're behind a computer screen, not actually making offers, not actually talking about your message, not actually sharing what you do, this will always equal $0. The result will always equal $0, 0 clients. So when I talk about your mindset every day, you literally have to wake up and go, what do I know? Instead of listening to your brain that says, I don't know. You go, what do I know? How could I help somebody today? What is really, really simple for me, but I could share it as a quick tip today? And this is the most mind-blowing part of this because you're too close to your service. Oftentimes you're like, yeah, everybody knows how to do this, right? Everybody, like, duh, obviously everybody knows how to do this. Like for me in life coaching, I'd be like, yeah, everybody knows that they should wake up and listen to a podcast or an audiobook every day. Everybody knows that they should wake up and do positive affirmations or journaling or go on a walk and do movement and meditation. Duh. That's how you start your day. Otherwise, you're just going to wake up with a negative brain and your negative brain is going to lead you through the entire day. But that's not obvious. And we know that's not obvious because this is what people hire me for, is to say, hey, if your brain is negative, we need to get it positive. And the only way to get it positive is to put positive inputs in there. And then we take action and we celebrate that action, right? So your number one thing behind your messaging is going to be your mindset and your emotion. When you feel connected and when you believe there's one client out there today ready to work with you, wants what you have to offer, they want to pay you, when you can believe that, even if it's just like an imaginary belief, you can believe like there's an imaginary person out there. When you can speak to an imaginary person, but you also imagine it as like your ideal client, maybe it's like an imagining of a real person, or maybe it's an imagining of like a combination of people you've worked with before, but they actually paid you. When you can step into that imagination and make the offer with the message, this is when you sign clients. And it always comes back to not putting pressure on the one networking event or the one post. You want to think about all of your messaging as a bunch of puzzle pieces. All of your social media marketing, all of the in-person networking that you do, all of the conversations you have, all of the offers that you're putting out there, all the stories. It is a puzzle piece that is putting things together for people, for them to finally, when that moment strikes, when they're like, I'm ready, today's the day, I'm reaching out. So don't put pressure on the one post. Don't put pressure on the one event. Think about it as a long-term game and think about your messaging as a value add. Most of the time we think about it as like, I'm selling. But I always think about, I want my message to help people feel safe, to feel seen, to feel heard, to feel like they can do it, to build their belief, to feel like they are good enough, they are smart enough, to feel like imposter syndrome is not a problem. Everybody has it. If you're going after big goals and you're putting yourself out there, you're just going to deal with imposter syndrome, period. It's not a big deal. If you go out there and you're afraid of people saying no, you're just going to deal with rejection. It's not a big deal when we know how to deal with rejection. So I let all my clients know you're seen, you're heard, you're felt, you're validated, and we can solve this. Here's how we can do it together. So I let them know their problem is solvable, and I let them know here's how we could do it together. All of your messaging is like a puzzle piece. And what I like to think of, these are made up marketing terms. Like I'm extrapolating from what I know from about 7-8 years ago. 7-8 years ago in the marketing world, it was said that people needed at least 16 touch points in order to take action, in order to book the consult, in order to book a session with you, in order to send you a message. They needed to see something 16 times from you. I believe, right, just the way social media is now, I kind of changed it. And this just helps me understand, like, oh, I can't just expect people to jump on something because I made one post today. Like, that is silly. It's my job to continue to show up because they need to know me, like me, trust me. Same thing with you. Know, like, and trust. They need to feel safe to reach out. Your consistency is what helps them feel safe. And don't beat yourself up if you're telling yourself you're not consistent. Just start today. And consistent is something that means different things to everybody. It could be one post a week for you. It could be one networking event a week. It doesn't mean you need to be on social media 24/7 posting every day. So don't beat yourself up and don't like tell yourself you have to do that, right? But it's more about the numbers I'm using in my head now because it helps me to keep showing up is they need 27 touch points and they need 7 meaningful interactions. They need 27 touch points, which is like a post, a hey, how are you? A comment on their feed, a happy birthday message on their Facebook post, right? They need 27 touch points, but they need 7 meaningful interactions. So when I think of a meaningful interaction, I'm like, did I give them value? Did I offer them something? Did I do a workshop? Did I teach something? Did I go on a Facebook Live or an Instagram Live? Did I say, hey, here's 5 tips to XYZ? Meaningful interactions are they got something of value from you. It could be something related to your business, or it could be like, hey, I referred you to somebody. Hey, did you know this over here could help you? Like there's a new gym in town. You might like it. Like it doesn't always need to be related to your business, but when you offer value and you are a valuable person in relationship, then people are more likely to work with you. But the other part is 7 meaningful interactions also needs to relate back to, have I made 7 offers in the past 7 days? And we'll get into this a little bit more as we move on to the next session, which is connected consults, which is how do you get consults and then how do you run a consult? We can do great messaging, but if we don't have an offer that's like, hey, I can help you with this, message me. I like to audit my offers and be like, have I offered enough this month? Not from a place of feeling like I'm not doing enough, or from like a place of like obviousness of like, wow, I realized I just posted about my dog all week, right? Or for you guys, it might be like I posted about my kids, but you didn't say anything about your business. Okay, yeah. It's just like people have short-term memory loss. So that's why they need to see 27 touch points, 7 meaningful connections, and 7 offers in the last 7 days. And it can be an offer is just very simple. Send me a message. I can help you with this. Tell me your favorite color. What it doesn't really need to be, tell me your favorite color because I'm an interior stylist and I can help you figure out what that color means, right? Like, so it's just some meaningful offer. Another offer could be come to my workshop, come to my masterclass, come to my in-person event, right? That is a meaningful connection. And we want to make sure they have a very clear way to work with you after that. Okay. So the takeaways I want you to have from messaging today is everything always comes from your mindset. But as you're working on your messaging, focus in on clear, concise, connected, and certain. And then focus in on what is their problem? What is the process that I take them through? Very simple process. And then what are the results they can get? The tangible results and the emotional results. People always want to know, what is in this for me? Why should I reach out to you? Why should I pay you? And like, what is the process going to be like? Tell me what the next step is. Okay. All right. So that is our training for today. I will open it up for questions if we have any questions, but I want to give you an invitation and an offer that all of this work is based on if you want to continue to do this together. So I always love to give people like quick wins. You can take all this information, go out there, start making posts, start talking about what you do. And what I find with messaging, I paid $25,000 to be in a mastermind to learn this process, to learn how to use my brain to write and say words that connect with my clients. Now, the biggest problem I'm seeing is, I'm going to sound like such a boomer right now, but like I'm an elder millennial, but I'm seeing people diminish their own brain capacity by running to ChatGPT. I'm not saying don't use it. I'm saying don't outsource your authority to ChatGPT. You do not want to have a robot running your business, giving you ideas, telling you what to do. You are the heart and soul of your business. You are the one that's going to magnetize clients to you by your emotional state, by how much you care. And you want to be the authority in your business. You make the decisions, you write the copy, or you take the copy from chat and you edit it so that it's in your human words. So what I want to invite you into is I have a one-on-one program that is 12 weeks. It's called Magnetic Authority. The purpose of this program is to define your offer clearly. So this is for you if you already have an offer, but you're still like, I just don't really know how to talk about it. Or you're coming from scratch and you're like, I need to create an offer from scratch, right? Like I don't really exactly know what it is I offer, what to price it at, how to market it, how to talk about it. So during this program, we're going to get clear on your offer. We're going to make sure your messaging, you feel confident. Here's how I talk about it. And then we're going to start creating opportunities for you to share what you do in person and online in a way that makes you feel like you have authority, like you're certain this is what I do. It's valuable. People want what I have to offer. That energy is magnetic. So what I always say is I can tell when someone is using ChatGPT from a place of trying to get it right, from a place of trying to create the right words, but I can tell when they're energetically disengaged from the message, or they're energetically like, well, I don't even know if anybody really wants this. So I'm just going to like throw this out here because I don't really want to spend the time or energy to figure out how to say it. And what I know is true, especially in 2026, right? The markets have shifted in the past 3 years. It used to be relatively easy to just sell things. And I'm saying easy retrospectively. I don't think it's ever just easy to sell, but I would say this year, it creates more necessity for human connection, because what we're going to see is so much generic ChatGPT AI stuff, and people are just going to scroll past it. And the way to be magnetic in 2026 is to be human, is to be authentic, is to be imperfect, is to be quirky and weird. Being your quirky, weird human self creates connection and trust with your clients. And it is worth it for you to do the work to figure out how to talk about what you do from your own language, not from a robot's language. This is the important work that I'm telling you. When you learn this, you will always know how to sell, and it will enable you to stand out in a room full of people, especially when you're in person, especially if you decide I'm going to teach a workshop, because it shows your authority. I know what I'm doing. I'm an expert at this. Doesn't matter if you were formally trained or educated. Doesn't matter if you have a certificate or a degree in it. Your expertise shows through in the way that you talk about it. And the way that you talk about it is affected by the way you feel on the inside. So we're not going to be able to shortcut with chat. The reason I know this is because I've seen this and I want to stop it, but I'm not in charge. But I've seen this in a couple of groups where people will give a speech. And listen, I'm a speaker. I get paid to speak. So I can train people on how to speak. It irks me when they do this. They'll go to ChatGPT, they'll put in a prompt, and then they will come to the room and read the prompt from ChatGPT. And as I'm watching, and then I'm watching everybody else in the room, people's skin is crawling because they're like, you're reading something that's not authentic to you. Tell me a real story. Tell me the real thing. Don't just tell me what ChatGPT told you to say to this room. And I'm telling you, this is going to keep pushing people away. So I would rather see all day long somebody authentically sharing, maybe messing up a little bit, maybe tripping over their words a little bit, but having the courage to go up there and say, here's what I do, here's what I offer, here's what I share, here's how I can help people, reach out to me, here's the next step. People that do that are going to be the people that are making the most money, signing the most clients. And remember, you're not born with it. You're not just born with confidence. You're not just born with feeling certain about everything. This is a skill that you develop through repetition. And we do that together over 12 weeks. So if this is you and you're like, I want to master this, I want to, by the end of 12 weeks, feel confident about my offer, be able to do a PowerPoint presentation if I want to, be able to do a masterclass, be able to do something online or in person, like feel like I am an authority in my space and begin magnetizing people to me. So they're reaching out to me. And when they reach out, I'm not afraid because I know how to talk to them. I'm like, yep, here's what we do. All of that is teachable. So we do that over a process of one-on-one coaching together over 12 weeks. We work on the specifics of getting your offer together, getting your pricing together, getting clear on your messaging. And then you start being consistent at showing up, putting out your messaging, making your offers, connecting with people in real life human, and then inviting them to work with you, inviting them to the next step. So by the end of this 12 weeks, you will feel more confident. You'll feel calm. You'll feel certain. You'll be having people messaging you, like asking you how to work with you. And I'll tell you, it is the most amazing feeling. So if you are here on this call, I have a special offer for you. This offer is valid for 2 weeks only. This program, my 12-week one-on-one offer, is normally $2,000. But for anybody here, for the next 2 weeks, you will get $500 off. So you can work with me for 12 weeks for $1,500. The way to get this offer is to book a free consultation. It's super simple. You'll go to the link that's below this video, cammykennedy.vip. I'll also type it in the chat, cammykennedy.vip. And you'll book a consult with me. And on the consult, you'll just let me know, hey, I was on this training and I want to know about that program, Magnetic Authority. And what I'll do is I'll walk you through 3 things. We do 3 things. We see where you are, give you an assessment, like where are you at in your business, where are you at with your offer, where are you at with your marketing. We talk about all of that. And then what I'll do is I'll evaluate it. I'll say, okay, here's what I think we need to work on. Here's the steps that we need to work on. Here's what our 12 weeks would look like together. Because I have an advanced offer too. That advanced offer I will talk about on the next masterclass. It is called Sovereign Sales. So if you already have an offer and you just want to get better at getting consults and closing consults, we'll talk about if that offer may be better for you as well. So no matter what, there will be a way for us to work together. I just want to help you get clarity on exactly where you are, on where you want to be, and then we can make a decision whether it's a good fit to work together or not. The beautiful thing about a consult with me is that I think it's valuable because you're going to get information. You're going to actually get clarity on like, okay, I can do this. Because a lot of clients at the end of the call, they say like, do you believe in me? I'm like, of course, you can do this. It's a formula. You think the thoughts, you take the actions, you get the results. Like it is a formula that every human is capable of. What I typically will say to clients, if I'm ever hesitant, I'll say, listen, this will work for you. It can work for you. When you realize that what you think, the thoughts that you think, you're in control of them, and you're willing to show up to the calls, to change your thoughts, to start practicing new thoughts, to start taking new actions, then you will get new results, period. Like it's literally impossible to change your thinking and start changing your actions and not get any different results. So after 12 weeks, you'll become a new version of you that shows up differently and people will start noticing it. They'll be like, wow, that's where magnetizing clients come from. They start noticing like, wow, you're showing up in a way that like, it's like they see you all of a sudden versus before we may have been showing up, but we're like kind of hiding in a corner. We're kind of not feeling confident. And then that is not a magnetic energy that's going to bring clients to us. So the value of the consult is we get to see where you are, where you want to be. You'll find out exactly what it looks like. You'll get clarity on what it's like to work together, and you'll get a decision point if you want to work together or not. But the second valuable thing about a consult with me is people understand that a sales conversation does not need to feel salesy or uncomfortable. I've had clients who didn't sign up with me say, thank you so much for giving me a free hour of your time. Like, I'm not going to work with you, but I feel like this was so valuable and I feel so comfortable. I said, sure, that's what I'm here for. Like, I want to help people understand that it doesn't need to feel icky, sleazy, salesy at all. It's about making a decision. And most people have a hard time at making a decision. They say they want something, but they don't have the thing they want for 5 years because they've been going back and forth on it. So a conversation about getting what you want is an opportunity to have what you want and to see what are all the things that are in the way. And then for you on the receiving end, whether or not we work together, you get to feel like, oh, I'm not afraid to do consults anymore because like they're not scary. It's not a big deal. It doesn't need to feel salesy and pushy. It's clearly just getting to the point of, do I want this? Yes or no? Do I want to invest in this? Yes or no? Why or why not? But all selling is information and an invitation. It's a transfer of emotion. And when you learn how to be the person who can hold space for your potential client, they're going to refer people to you. They're going to sign up with you. They're going to feel safe because you're not the person in the industry who's being salesy, who's out there saying, buy my thing, buy my thing, buy my thing. And you're not reading the room. And I've seen people who will never get my business because they come up to me in person and shove a card in my face while I'm in a conversation with somebody else. And I literally will just take their card and throw it in the trash. I did it in front of someone and I think he got offended. But I was like, listen, that's just not the way that I want to be treated. That's not the way I'm going to treat my clients. And like, that's not how I'm going to buy. So I will literally never refer him business. I didn't like it. The vibes were off. Right. So I want you to take away, keep the vibes up, think about your mindset, think about your messaging. And if you want to continue this work together, of course, reach out to me in the next 2 weeks, book a free consult call. You will get $500 off one of my signature programs, either Magnetic Messaging, which is my 12-week one-on-one program. This is for you beginning nailing your, or not Magnetic Messaging, Magnetic Authority. Magnetic Authority, so you can build your authority, build your offer, get your pricing correct. That one is on promotion right now for $1,500. It's normally $2,000. And then if you are more advanced, you've been in business for a couple of years, you're already making money with your offer, but you want to get better at getting consults and closing them, or getting people through a sales funnel or moving them into working with you, then you want to be part of the Sovereign Sales Program. That's my 12-week one-on-one. That's more advanced. That one is normally $2,500. Right now it's on promo for $2,000. Okay. And then your next step is to book a free consultation. That is it. All right. I'm going to end the recording here so that y'all get it. And I'll be talking to you soon on a consult.